Hello everyone and welcome to this Lyricland video with me, Mr Linham, where today we're doing the film music quiz. Hopefully you've already watched all 6 episodes of the Film Music Project, you know the film music song, and now you're ready to test your knowledge with all the facts that are hidden in those videos to find out if you've got what it takes to be Mr Linham's movie star! We've got 5 rounds with 5 questions, meaning there's 25 points up for grabs, and there's probably even a few bonus points as well. Yes! Let's get straight on to round number 1.
This is round 1 now.
Our first round is a film facts round. Let's see if you know all the facts and can work out the fact from the fiction. That's what they say, isn't it? Action! So I just need to put on my reading glasses. Let's see. Okay. So, number 1. What year was the first talkie film made? Number 1, what year was the first talkie film made? Number 2, in the early 1900s, the original films had no sound at all. What were they called? In the early 1900s, the original films had no sound. What were they called? Number 3, what is Foley? Number 3, what is Foley? And you should all know the answers from the Foley challenge each week. Number 4, the music written to accompany a film is called what? Number 4, the music written to accompany a film is called what? Number 5, what famous award was an actor most like to receive? Number 5, what award would an actor most like to receive? What's the most famous award you can get for acting that you can think of? I'm going to give you a little bit of music now to get you thinking, and I'm going to put the questions on the screen. You've got about 30 seconds. Off you go. We're going to do all the answers in a little while, but now let's get on to round 2.
Now it's round 2, it's harder. What are the questions now?
In this round, I'm going to play 5 different pieces of famous film music. You've got to tell me what kind of film they're from. Are they from an action film, a spy film, a horror film, a romantic film, or maybe even a comedy film? Listen to the piece of music and see if you can work it out, because the music is telling that part of the story. It doesn't matter if you haven't seen these films, and some of them I'd hope you haven't seen. So let's see how you get on with working out what kind of film it is. Action! Number 1. Here it is again. Number 2. Here it is again. Number 3. Number 3 again. Number 4. Number 4 again. Number 5. And number 5 again. That was longer, you got more there. Hopefully you've got all of those, and now we're going to move on to round number 3.
Round 3 is suddenly here. It's round 3, it's so special. It's, this is too much.
In round 3, we've got a true or false round, meaning you've got a 50% chance of always guessing the right answer. So if you're already going, oh, but Mr Linham, I don't know the answers, acting, then don't worry about it, because you've got a 50-50 chance of getting it right. Yes! Right, I need to put my reading glasses on again. Right, so, number 1, in an action film, the dynamics are typically loud. True or false? In an action film, the dynamics are typically loud. Number 2. In a romantic film, the happy ending music typically uses music in a minor key. Number 2. True or false? In a romantic film, the happy ending music typically is in a minor key. Number 3. In a horror film, the dynamics don't usually change. True or false? In a horror film, the dynamics don't usually change. Number 4. The rhythms you typically find in fantasy films are often inspired by African music, particularly African drums. True or false? The rhythms you typically find in fantasy films are often inspired by African music and African drums. Number 5. Film composers have been known to use instruments that aren't found in the orchestra. True or false? Film composers have been known to use instruments that aren't found in the orchestra. I'm going to put all of the questions on the screen for you now, and you've got a bit of time to make sure you've got the trues and the falses. True, false, true. jingle is clearly left over from Christmas. Now we're going to do the answers for the first 3 rounds, so maybe swap it with your partner or something, and let's see if we've worked out all of the right answers so far. So, looking at our film facts round, number 1. What year was the first talkie made? The answer was 1927. So if you said anything between 1925 and 1940, I'm going to give you the point. Yay! So you had a 15-year margin of correctness there. Secondly, in the early 1900s, the films that had no sound were called silent movies. They were called silent movies. Did you get that? Number 3, what is Foley? You all should have got this one from our Foley challenge each week. Foley is any sound that is added on after the filming has been made. And that typically sounds like door slamming and creaking noises and all sorts of things like that. Number 4, what's the name for the music that goes with a film? We call it the soundtrack. But I would have also accepted the orchestration. That's a fancy word. So soundtrack or orchestration for 1 point. And finally, number 5, the award an actor would most like to see is, of course, an Oscar. Who's Oscar? An Oscar! I know. I've always wanted an Oscar. You know, I'd get it for my performance of Hamlet. Alas, poor Yorick. I don't remember the rest. Our second round then, the pieces of music. The first piece of music was, some of your teachers will have got this, it was from Austin Powers, making that answer a comedy film. Hashtag lols. The second one, the right answer was horror, because that was the music from The Shining. So if you got horror, well done, because that had the low, ominous, brassy sounds, didn't it? Number 3, this is a film you might have seen, that was Back to the Future. The answer I was looking for was action. I was looking for an action film. I think that big kind of triumphant, I think that was very action. Number 4 was the beautiful music from Love Actually, which tells you it was romance was the answer. I know. I was in love once. And finally, number 5, the Pink Panther was the music playing. So I'd have accepted a spy film, I'd accept a thriller. And you know what? Those films are quite funny, the original ones from the 60s. I will also have accepted comedy. Time for the true or falses. Number 1, in an action film, the dynamics are typically loud. That is true. Number 2, in a romance film, that's false because it usually finishes in a major key. Major is happy. I know, happy. Number 3 was false because in a horror film, the dynamics do change. Think about Jaws. It starts quietly and it goes gradually louder. Number 4 was true. The rhythms found in fantasy films are usually using African drums and African rhythms. And that was a clue for number 5 because it's true that film composers often use instruments that are from outside of the orchestra. Whether it's saxophones or traditional Japanese flutes, they use instruments from all over the world to create the atmosphere that they require for their film. Hopefully you've already got 15 points, and now let's get straight on to round 4.
It's round 4. It's round 4.
In round 4, we're doing a game called Name That Foley.
Name that Foley, name the Foley, name that Foley sound. Yeah!
So you're going to hear 5 different sound effects and you've got to tell me what they were used for as a sound effect. So you need to listen really carefully and you're going to hear each one twice. We're going to go through them all once and then you'll hear them all a second time. Here we go. Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Let's hear them all again, shall we? Number 1. Number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Number 5. Hopefully you recognise all of those sounds and were able to write down exactly what they are. Let's move on to round number 5.
Round 5, yes, it's round 5, it's round 5.
Action. Oh, my finger. We've come to the final round. I know it's emotional, but don't weep like a willow. No, let's get on to our final round. What is our final round? The final roll of film. I'm going to ask you some questions about films and we're going to see if you know the answers. I couldn't think of anything more catchy. It's round 5. Give me a break. Number 1. What kind of character would you find in a spaghetti western? Number 1. What kind of character would you find in a spaghetti western? Number 2. Who is the most famous film composer? Number 2. Who is the most famous film composer? Number 3. Who is the most famous silent movie star? This is hard. There's 2 very famous ones, so if you get either of them, you'll be winning. One of them had a little moustache and a bowler hat. #clue. Number 4. What does the PG rating stand for? Number 4. What does the PG rating stand for? Number 5. What was the first ever animated film movie ever released? Number 5. What was the first ever animated film ever released? It's a classic. Hopefully you've got all of those. We're going to put the questions up on the screen for you to have a little think about them, and then we're going to get straight into the answers.
Do you know the answer? Have you worked the answers out yet? Do you know the answers? Have you got the answers yet? Is this distracting? Do you know the answers yet? Have you worked all the answers out? Answer time, now it's answer time. Get your answers ready, 'cause now it's answer time. Hey!
So to the answers then. Maybe you need to swap it with the person next to you or throw it out the window. I don't know. Well, let's get on with the answers. In the Name That Foley round, you heard number 1 was a lightsaber. Number 2 was a Tyrannosaurus Rex. Special effects. Number 3, this was a hard one. This is called the Wilhelm scream. And the Wilhelm scream turns up in hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of films. And it's actually a joke that Foley artists make. If you got that one, that is worth 2 points. Yes! Number 4 is the sound of Indiana Jones is Boulder. So if you said large rock, or boulder, or rocks moving, I'll give you the points. But if you said Indiana Jones, oh, you're just a superstar. You can have Mr Linham points for that. They're entirely worthless. And number 5, that noise is called a braam. B-R-A-A-M. Braam. Because it literally goes... See, I'm good at the impressions. I could do that all day. Special effects. Hopefully you got all the sound effects. 3 were supposed to be easy, 2 were supposed to be hard. So in round 5, our final roll of film, number 1, what kind of characters would you find in a spaghetti western? Cowboys and Indians. Though we can't call them that, we have to call them Native Americans. Number 2, who is the most famous film composer? A little bit of an opinion here, but I think the biggest one who's done the most films and is the most well respected is, of course, John Williams, and we should know him from all of our work in the film music song. Number 3, the most famous silent movie star. Well, I gave you a clue. The answer I was looking for is Charlie Chaplin. There he is, look at him go. And then the other one you could have had, which some of your grown-ups around might have got, is Buster Keaton. Apparently he's so funny that his house falls down. That's not special effects, that's pure danger. Number 4, what does PG stand for? It stands for parental guidance. So if you've been watching films by yourself that are PG, oh, what have you been doing? Stay away from those naughty grown-up films. Ooh. Number 5, the first animated feature film, that was of course Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Well done if you got that. Hopefully now you can add up all of your points and you've got 26 points available. And then, you know what? Let's throw in a bonus round. Action, action, bonus round. In our bonus round, you've got 1 minute to write down as many John Williams film scores as possible. So I want the title for any film that John Williams wrote the music for. You have got 1 minute, go!
Do you know the answers? Can you remember the one that's got that bloke in it? You know, the one that had the wand, or what was that thing called again? Oh yes, there was the one with all the roaring, and the one with all those monsters from outer space, and the one where the kid gets left at home, and the one with Peter Pan that isn't Peter Pan, and the one where there's the helicopter and that guy and they've got to go and get him and stuff. So many to remember. Have you worked all the John Williams answers out?
You need to stop now. Stop writing. You are out of time. Out of time. Out of time. Let's go through some of the answers then. Let's have a look. You could have said Jaws, Superman, Indiana Jones, Harry Potter, Star Wars, Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, E.T., The Tower Inferno, Close Encounters, Home Alone, Hook, 7 Years in Tibet, Saving Private Ryan, Artificial Intelligence, Minority Report, War of the Worlds, and more. If you got any of those, then you get a point. However, some of you might be thinking,
well, if I write down all 9 Star Wars films, I can get 9 points.
No, that's not how it works. If you said Star Wars, you get 1 point. You can't just list all 9 Star Wars films for 9 points. That is cheating. Cheating! Now you need to add up all of your points and see who got the most. So really, this quiz is out of at least 50-ish, because John Williams has easily written 25 great film scores. So let's see who's the class winner. Give them an invisible trophy or something, and I'm sure you've all done brilliantly. Hopefully you've had fun doing this quiz, and it's really made you think about everything we've worked through with the Film Music Project, and maybe to celebrate, what you could do is all go and sing the film music song one more time for posterity, and to celebrate the fact that you're all absolute film geniuses. Make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and visit lyricland.co.uk. It should probably have some kind of jingle. And I will see you for another video sometime very soon. See you later, everybody. Bye!